Jealousy is a real thing. Even your own family can be jealous of you, want what you want, and even take away people or things that you poured your heart into. Welcome to another video of Casual Romance Reviews, a series about romance TV shows, movies, or books, with of course spoilers. Today I'm discussing the book Once Upon a Broken Heart. It's very popular, and so I wanted to give it a read. Our female lead is Evangeline, who is in love with Luke, and Luke is marrying her stepsister Marcel. Evangeline is so in love that she is willing to do anything, and I mean everything, to stop Luke's wedding, even bargain with fate, or a fate. Enter Evangeline into a magical door that brings her into a church, and in the corner is sitting a sad boy, and she chooses to ignore him for now because she is on a mission. She is on a mission to pray to the faith of hearts to stop that wedding. And not until after she's done praying, she realizes that that sad boy in that corner is actually the fate that she was praying to, the Prince of Hearts, also known as Jax. He hides a lot from her throughout the whole book, and he kind of does manipulate her in doing things that are in favor of him without telling her the full story. Does he have secrets because of plot need? Or is it because he has major trust issues? And is the tension between them even real, or is it because of the bargain? These are some of the questions that were going through my mind as I was reading the book. Coming back to our story, Evangeline is so in love with Luke that she's willing to bargain with a fate. She thinks that Luke has been bewitched by her stepmother, does at some point kind of maybe thinks that he cheated on her, and that's why he could be marrying her stepsister Marcel. And I guess what's really hard for Evangeline is that Luke did not explain anything to her whatsoever. He cut off all communication. Maybe having a conversation on why this happened and why he was leaving her for her stepsister, would have helped her understand. I don't know. Luke has a right to love whoever he wants, and if he cheated on Evangeline and didn't have the guts to tell her, then definitely he is not the right man. Because of the bargaining she made with Jax for Luke to not marry Marcel, it takes an effect on the lives of many, not just one. Marcel becomes the cursed bride, because every time she tries to get married with Luke, something bad happens to prevent it. And that is not all. Apparently, later we find out that Marcel is the one who bewitched Luke into marrying her and cutting ties with Evangeline. So I want to say jealousy is a real thing, and even your own family can be jealous of you, want what you want, and even take away people or things that you poured your heart into. Let's get back to some positives. I have to say, Evangeline's parents taught her some really good morals, like helping and sacrificing and etc. And that's why when everyone turns to stone, she drinks the poison in place of Luke, in the hope that maybe Luke will also help her. But even if he doesn't, she wanted to kind of sacrifice for him. He may not help her, right? He may not know how to help her, and he may maybe fear the danger, or maybe just didn't want to help her. And we all know he's not gonna help her, maybe because of another plot building reason. And in the story, she gets stuck as stone. Okay, we have to talk about Apollo. Prince Apollo, ladies. He sounds too good to be true. And indeed, it is too good to be true. And we will never know if he truly was a loving and kind man, as he was under Jack's magic. Apollo was everything a girl could want, from his words, actions, to pampering Evangeline. This was a great example of romanticized fantasy love. That last chapter, when she's having second thoughts on going through with their marriage and Apollo comforts her, who couldn't help fall in love with a guy like that? Evangeline said in the book, "We don't know his true personality. That's what's scary." So she does try her best to kind of free him of her from the magic, Jack's magic, but he ends up dying. In his last moments, or in that last moment, he says, "It's like you stabbed me in the heart." And he loved her so much. At least that's how I felt. And what the thought that came after that was what if a part of him, the real him, actually loved her? When he said, "You stabbed me in the heart," I thought he was dying of a heartache. That pain, and that's how he passed. But we find out otherwise. I want to talk about another character that I like, Poison. He's another fate, and I kind of like Poison the best, and this is why. He was the most honest person in the book. He was also kind to her. He helped her break out of that stone, and we know his reason why for that, but he also gave her advice. Lala was also good. She had her own motives for doing things, so I kind of have a little bit of like mixed feelings about her, but later Evangeline understands her, hears her out, her story, and then becomes her friend again officially. Open communication and honesty, is it really too much to ask in a relationship? Because these are like basic foundations of a healthy relationship, and I felt like the characters, a lot of characters, were lacking. I mean, Jax, are you listening? I mean, tell Evangeline what's going on. Not only is she lost, we too, as the reader, we're kind of lost, like what's going on in your head. That's something I wanted to include just for laughs, but I am curious on what's going on, like Jack's story. Something else I liked about the book were the descriptions of when Evangeline was stoned, her feelings, like that warmth. I also like the vampire's house description with the cages and then them turning officially into hopefully a vampire. And then even the statues of Jax in the church, I love that description. The gifts Apollo gets for Evangeline. I just really enjoyed reading all the descriptions in the book, and I could really like imagine everything. Lastly, this book is a very slow romance. Only romance that I got was from Apollo and like them. There was a little bit of her and Jax, that kind of chemistry, but besides that, like there was not a lot of romance. I still think Jax and Evangeline might end up together, but we'll have to see, I guess, in like the next book. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do hit the like button, and until next time.